Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. This is a very, very interesting, an extremely interesting show this evening. Why? Because you have a situation where President Trump is not only their worst nightmare, but he constantly makes them melt down. He constantly makes them fear the worst. And he's always letting them know, hey, you're not going to cheat. You cheated Bernie Sanders. So this is a fact. They cannot, look, this is what the left is all about. They don't address cheating. They project. They've set up and framed Trump and say that he worked with Russia because of Facebook ads and Twitter bots that nobody saw. I would love for anyone who believes, any imbecile that believes this absurd myth, to find an article in the New York Times saying Facebook ads are swinging the election to Trump in swing states. To the contrary, you find articles like Clinton has a solid electoral college lead. A solid electoral college lead going into like 3 days before the election. A solid electoral college lead 3 days into the election. Now, Hillary Clinton's going to be nominee again. They're not going with Biden. I really don't care. I think they're going to give it to Clinton at the nomination because it's a political machine. There's zero meritocracy, absolutely zero meritocracy. There's zero meritocracy. People don't win the Democratic nomination anymore. They're given, Clinton is given the Democratic nomination. The reason Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign was because Bernie Sanders was cheated. I say this as a Trump supporter, but I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. Their duplicity and disingenuous nature is so, it's so apparent for anyone to see. It's so apparent for anyone to see who they really are. So then they say, it's true Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign in disgrace, but that's just politics. That just happens, that's just politics. Of course, it doesn't happen to the Republican side. The Republicans they cheat also, but not as bad as Democrats. Find me a time when the Republican National, the RNC chairman, was forced to resign in disgrace. And so what they do is the following. They say, how dare Trump? How on earth could he say that mail-in ballots, and he voted as an absentee ballot? You have to register for an absentee ballot and mail it in. And there aren't, for mail-in ballots, you don't have to register and say, okay, well, you know what, you can't be there in person. And furthermore, they are collected by, there are no rules as to who needs to collect them or how many of these ballots they can collect. You can literally have Democratic operatives collect tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of ballots. Why would you trust any political party, Republican or Democrat? Why would you trust Republican or Democrat? Democrats always and then they complain. They complained there used to be a supermajority to elect Supreme Court justices. Then they pushed for a simple majority. Harry Reid pushed for a simple majority, and Mitch McConnell said, "Okay, you're gonna regret this." And then two conservative Supreme Court justices later, Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, they now regret it. Then they said, well, you can't get help from Russia. It's horrible. He got help from Russia, and then they purchased a dossier with help not only from Russian sources, but from one active Russian intelligence official. This is according to Vanity Fair and actually the actual Steele dossier itself. But President Trump is basically saying, "Look, you know what? I'm not gonna play this game. Why don't we postpone or delay the election?" And then, of course, oh my God, he's doing it. He's doing it. Oh my God, he's doing it now. He's gonna postpone the election. He's gonna be president for life. No, our worst nightmare. No. To my super chat, by the way, thank you. And to my moderators, Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, thank you. Anthony Andrea. HA, will the cadaver with teeth pick Harris, or is Bass left of Bernie? I'm not sure if Bass is left of Bernie. I think that she's left of Kamala Harris. I think they'll probably pick Kamala Harris. I think it's going to be Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris. Or Hillary Clinton and Karen Bass. I'm not sure. All I know is that once the female vice president is picked, they're going to find some way to give it to Hillary Clinton. I will have made the biggest political call of all time. Anthony, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know if he picks Hillary Clinton, and then Clinton picks Bass or Harris, or maybe they pick Elizabeth Warren. I don't know. I have no clue. All I know is that this thing is even more rigged and even more of an overt facade and farce and charade. I am the only person in all of YouTube still saying every single day they cheated Bernie Sanders. And that's the difference between me and the average. When I was a Democrat on the left, when I was a Democrat, I was like, wait a second now. You cheated. How could you have cheated a candidate that was running in your primary? This was unheard of. And this was just unheard of. Like, nobody ever would have imagined that they would cheat a candidate and that DNC officials would actually write on how to help Clinton. How to help Clinton. How to disparage Bernie Sanders with certain voters. Old school dad, man. That's true. Herman Cain passed away today. We did lose a great man. We lost John Lewis, great civil rights legend, icon, freedom rider. So John Lewis we lost last week, and Herman Cain we lost. Just terrible, absolutely terrible. Herman Cain was really an amazing man. But you look, ladies and gentlemen, and they get away with everything because they don't see. The Democrats, what they do is they give the illusion, and they have wonderful pundits that always, no matter what, say vote Democrat no matter what, vote blue no matter who. Now you hear people suddenly becoming H.A. Goodman here and there saying, oh yeah, I'm not voting for Biden. But where were they in 2016? If people did not vote for Clinton in 2016, they wouldn't have cheated Bernie Sanders again this year. Because if he wins Iowa, which they cheated him, and that app is an obvious, an example. The app is an example. There was an app where they had to tabulate votes in Iowa this year. And instead of simply just calling the person who is victorious, Silver Knight, hello, at the end of the evening, they waited 3-4 days, and then they said, and actually it was Mayor Pete who called victory even before anyone was notified. How is that possible? Then he loses the South in large part because he did not craft a message, but also because he was seen as unelectable. But had Bernie Sanders won, this is why the left always gets stomped on and pummeled and taken advantage of by the Democratic Party. And they think they're the most hilarious and pathetic thing, and really the saddest thing about the left, is that they think that they're calling the shots. They think that they're the ones who are controlling the future of their political side or their political party. It's actually the opposite is true. It couldn't be further from the truth. The far left, whether you're talking about the anarchists or the communists or the socialists or all the other different factions, the Bernie supporters, they're all controlled, literally controlled by the Democratic Party, because at the end of the day, 90% of all of these people, from Bernie Sanders supporters, 12% didn't vote for Bernie. I was one of the 12% who didn't vote for Bernie Sanders in 2016. Actually, I voted for Jill Stein, so there's 12% who voted for Trump. But the only people who don't get completely played is the Green Party, because the Green Party actually says, look, you know what? We have our own thing going. So the Green Party has their own thing, and it's like, that's not accepted. That's not fashionable. The reason nobody made an issue about Bernie Sanders being cheated, and the reason that nobody trusts Democrats, especially not Trump, with counting or tabulating or picking up mail-in ballots, because they just tried to do this to Kanye West in New Jersey. A lawyer comes out of the woodwork and says, "Oh, well, there's about 600 signatures that are forged." You think that all these attorneys and lawyers and people on the left would say, "Oh, well, these ballots were falsified"? No. How many ballots were scrutinized during recounts in Florida or California or anywhere, or Arizona? How many Democratic politicians either won or almost won because of recounts? It's funny how very rarely the recounts go to the Republican way. But the point is, you have to register, and you have to register, and then you have to mail in your absentee ballot. And the absentee ballots don't come in all at once. And the absentee ballots aren't picked up by Democratic operatives. So a mail-in ballot, if everyone has a mail-in ballot, you have a whole bunch of people that are picking up giant cardboard boxes full of wonderful ballots. Where when Democrats are losing, oh my God, that's so bizarre. This kind of reminds me of a South Philly judge that was convicted just recently, a couple weeks ago, of stuffing ballots for Democrats. Christopher! Walt Disney Loved America makes sense since the resort that bears his name has 8 players displayed there. Christopher! Thank you, Christopher. Thank you. Thank you. It's, I'm just wondering when Democrats are going to kneel for the national anthem. I would like for them to be a political party that kneels for the national anthem. Because why let others take the heat for what you benefit from politically? Why should Democrats allow others to take the heat, to take the political consequences, which there aren't any now, but there's not a political party in the world that kneels for its country's national anthem. Why don't the Democrats do that? Oh, that's right. Because they sit on the fence and they say, well, we're not going to actually go there. But we will definitely allow others to do that. And we'll take the political, whatever political capital is gained from doing so by saying something like, well, they have I believe in in people's rights to do this. Yes, so does President Trump. He just doesn't agree with it. Do you agree with it? Has anyone ever asked Democrats, do they think it is a good thing to do? That's all. I just want I want Nancy Pelosi and Hillary Clinton and Tom Perez and everybody, Chuck Schumer. I want during the national anthem at a game, at a sporting event, for them to just kneel. But they won't do that because they're duplicitous and disingenuous. Paul Bartlett, hello. It ain't going to work anyway because you have to cheat. If you're going to have to cheat during the election, you better hope the election is close. And you don't have enough states that are only mail-in. So you're going to have people showing up on Election Day, and a great many of those people are going to be Trump supporters. Republicans always show up a lot more so than Democrats. They have a greater turnout than Democrats on Election Day. But you have Hillary Clinton retweeting earlier today one of the gentlemen who helped her obtain the Steele dossier. This is I will have made the biggest political call of all time. The biggest political call of all time. Hillary Clinton's going to be nominee. She's the only chance they have. She's the only chance they have. I mean, she's literally the only chance they have. They cannot win with the exhumed body. They can't win. They can't. Not only can they not win, the whole thing is absurd anyway. You have somebody who stated he's running for Senate. You can go ahead and like they are. The left, when they lose, is so... the left, when they lose, it's going to be... Like when Democrats lose this election, because they're going to lose this election, they're going to have abysmal voter turnout. Okay, Biden, first of all, according to the polls that they worship, Biden does not have as much support as Clinton did among Black and Latino voters. You need huge voter turnout for Democrats. You need tremendous support from two of the most important demographic groups for the Democratic Party, Black and Latino voters. They don't have tremendous support. Hillary Clinton did worse than President Obama among those voting groups, and Biden is doing worse than Clinton. And Biden, the other day, they came out with an article in the Miami Herald saying that they were suppressing the Latino vote, the Hispanic vote in Florida, that the Biden campaign was suppressing the Latino vote in Florida. Does this make any sense at all? Does it make any sense that the Biden campaign would be suppressing the Latino vote in Florida with 29 electoral college votes? And they have remote voting, which, I mean, nobody knows how to send an email better than Madam Secretary. Does this make any sense at all? You have Biden making the "you ain't" comment to Charlemagne a couple months ago. Beverly! Hello, H.A. Eric, and all the Goodman clan. Trump was going to win. Hillary will be so pissed. More people hit the fan prepare. Yes, Beverly, hello. Hello, Beverly. I agree. President Trump is going to win again. I don't know how it's going to happen, but Hillary Clinton is going to be the nominee. There is no semblance of meritocracy. There is zero semblance of meritocracy within the Democratic Party. No semblance at all. Beverly, thank you. Old school dad, man! There could be no win by Dems without corruption. They have no support. Exactly. They have no support. Old school dad, man, and Beverly, they have no support. There really is no message. Like, I don't know of a message or policy. Like, what policy do they stand for? Okay, what policy? What policy do they stand for? I want to know. I want to know what policy they can, what law are they trying to implement that President Trump is preventing them? What major climate change legislation? I want to know what major climate change legislation, what is it that Trump is stopping them from doing? Because they don't have really an agenda or anything. I don't know. It's certainly not Medicare for all. So what is it? Trans-Pacific Partnership, President Trump stopped? Yeah. It's not Medicare for all. It's not any Green New Deal legislation. So I don't know what is it? Old school dad, man. HA, I've been asking you that for a month. What is their message? Exactly. What is their message? They have no message. What is the message that they, like, what are they? So President Trump we had record low unemployment before the pandemic. They said the sky was falling. You had Bill Maher saying, oh yeah, maybe we need a recession. Because our democracy is at stake. Then they speak like the early 2000s Republican Party. Well, our democracy is at stake. Our democracy is... No, your political party has nothing to do with democracy. Nothing to do. Actually, it's the antithesis of democracy. Ask Bernie Sanders. The absolute antithesis of democracy. What? They are so obsessed with covering up their tracks and covering up their misconduct that they blamed Russia for 3 years for notifying us that Bernie was cheated. So, I mean, you have a situation where the election is going to take place very soon. We have August, September, October, and that's 3 months, and then November. They're not going to go with Biden. They're not going to go with Biden because Biden would get eaten alive. Trump would eat him alive in a debate. I mean, like, eat him alive. Climb, BMX! Remove Trump as the DMC. Exactly. Climb, BMX. Thank you as always. Thank you as old school dad, man. Thank you as always. Climb, BMX. Exactly. In a debate, Climb, BMX, and old school dad, man, Biden would get eaten up alive. He didn't even know where he was the other day. I mean, literally. He didn't know where he was the other day. And so, but again, they don't follow, like, this is how you know the media is so disingenuous and duplicitous. And notice when Trump is drinking water, because Biden, like, they know he's one fry short of a Happy Meal, and they know that nobody is going to get out of bed to vote for this man, and they know that he never had a chance in his 40-year career of really, like, he never really got close to becoming president ever. He never had a chance. He didn't even get 1% in Iowa in 2008. He didn't even get 1% in Iowa in 2008. He was chosen as vice president because he had this amiable personality. That's it. I don't know what he accomplished. Nobody really does. He voted alongside Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld. He helped write the crime bill. He pushed along with President Obama and Hillary Clinton for the intervention in Libya that led to a completely failed state and led to ruin the lives of hundreds of thousands, millions of people, where now people are being bought and sold now in Libya. So climb BMX. The whole thing's a charade, and it's predicated upon exactly removing President Trump. The quicker flipper, picker upper. Trump doesn't have to get on the debate stage to win against her sniffle. What's that? What is that? Eucalyptus? What is that? Oh, Pantene Pro V, yeah. He really doesn't. The quicker flipper, picker upper, 2019. Thank you. But you have a situation where I don't know how it's going to happen, but it will. You look, ladies and gentlemen. Look at do you remember when, and they get on me for this, the left gets on me for this. Do you remember when Bernie Sanders was by 538 and everybody predicted after Nevada? After Nevada, he was predicted to win the presidency. I'm sorry, to win the nomination. Like, they all they and then in a split second, they went from, oh my God, it's going to be Bernie, to, oh my God, it's Biden now. Bernie's done. They went in a split second. They will go in a split second. So, oh my God, Biden, it doesn't really matter. You know what? We have Trump's coming. He's around the corner. We don't want, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. The bottom line is to defeat President Trump. Greg Landry, keep up the good work. Thank you, Greg. Greg Landry, thank you. Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very much. But they're not going to go with Biden. They're going to go with Hillary Clinton. This will be the second straight presidential election that I call actually in this way. This time I'm calling this election like about 4 years prior to he bit his wife's tongue like a couple months back. It was so bizarre. I don't know. Why does anyone... This is what I don't get. They're like, well, you know what? They're not going to do that. They don't have a political party. They certainly don't have a primary. The whole thing is smoke and mirrors. Why would they care? Why on earth would they care? I said, I don't get it. And they obsess over things like, he didn't throw out the pitch. He didn't throw out the pitch at the Yankee game. Well, so it's like that's all you have. That's all you have. Their lives are trying to cut it like a continual this continual attempt at trying to cut President Trump down to size, they better win the election. They better win the election, because when they don't win, because they're not going to win the election. It's going to be President Trump's going to win again. They ain't going to win this election. There's zero enthusiasm, and President Trump has a tremendous amount of enthusiasm. A tremendous amount of enthusiasm. So, an absolute like, it's not even a, there's no comparison. You can't even compare. Who is enthusiastic about Biden? And it's the centennial of the 19th Amendment. They're going to go with Hillary Clinton. The past 4 years has been about that. And she's the only chance they have to win. Do you realize everyone on the planet is going to watch? Everyone on the planet is going to watch those debates between Clinton and Trump. Greg Landry, thank you very, very much. Webby! Great work, Badman. Webby! Webby in Australia. To the BAL boys and to the crew in Australia, thank you so very, very much. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Webby and Jimbo and everybody here, Aussie J, thank you very much. Thanks everybody in Australia. Thank you, Webby, as always. Greg Landry, thank you again. Thank you, Greg. Greatly appreciated. Thank you for always watching, Greg. Thank you. But you have this, like, they're like, well, why would we cheat? Studies have been done. I can't stand when they say, well, studies have been done. Well, where's the direct? Okay, we can go. When you have government bodies saying, well, there's no direct evidence of something, it's really interesting how so much of what they claim has no direct evidence. So much of, anyway, that's a whole other story. From Russia but Webby, Greg, so much of what they claim has just no direct evidence. But they preach and they give you the sermons and they're morally superior and oh my God, when they lose again. Because the thing is, with the cheating, they can have as many mail-in ballots as they want. They're not going to be able to cheat unless it's very, very close. They're not going to be able to cheat unless it's very close. And I really don't think that it's going to be close at all. They're waiting till the last second with Biden, and that's just not a good idea. What they should have done is brought in Madam Secretary. They should have done that. They should have just brought in Madam Secretary and said, okay, you know what? This was the plan from the beginning. But instead, what did they do? They engage in this absurd charade, almost certainly just to wait it out so I don't do like the victory lap in the biggest victory lap in the history of the internet. And so now we have to deal with this nonsense. So now President Trump is constantly trolling them. And just he's really mocking them. Like, he's not going to, okay, in case I didn't say this, he's almost certainly not going to, so according to his recent statement today, he wants to, but he almost certainly is not going to delay the election. He cannot do so unilaterally. He cannot do so, and I don't know how it could be done, but you would have to have Congress to do something like that. But I mean, they have this. They have this. Exactly, Jay. She could. Exactly. Clinton does not need to campaign within the Democratic Party. Okay, she does not need to campaign within the Democratic Party. She already has the support. Once he picks a vice president, something will happen where he does something absurd, or he jumps into the reflecting pool without any clothes on. Andrew Morgan, aliens, HA will determine to his way. Maybe. I don't doubt that, actually. I don't doubt if aliens might determine what happens. I mean, Andrew Morgan, thank you. Andrew Webby, thank you. Andrew, with everything going on right now, I wouldn't doubt it. And it would be a welcome change. A welcome change to what's going on. But, yeah, I mean, so you have, let's see, you have Trump saying today that, then it's interesting. You have Clinton, see, this is the New York Times, the typical New York Times. I still remember in the early 2000s when Hillary Clinton was sworn into the Senate, and my young niece innocently asked my sister if men were allowed to be in the Senate too. Susan B. Anthony would have fainted with happiness. This is the mentality, and it's happening. It's happening! Yes! Yes! Oh my God! Oh my God! It is happening, people! Absentee voting and mail-in ballots is literally the same thing. No, it's not. This is the Lincoln Project, of course. They're the ones who got us into never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. They're the brilliant, the brainiacs who were wrong about everything. Always wrong about everything. It's happening 58 minutes ago. New York Times opinion. What does this have to do? I mean, is Clinton the only woman in American politics that counts? I don't understand this. So what is this? So 100 years of voting hasn't done what we thought it would. Really? Well, I think it has. The unfinished business of the woman's vote. The centennial of the 19th Amendment. I told you. They're starting it now. Women's issues like guaranteed quality health care for all. You mean Medicare for all? No, guaranteed quality health care. What does that mean? Well, like in the Affordable Care Act, we have guaranteed quality health care for all. No, you don't. And reproductive freedom may still not have universal political support. They pretty much do. But they're now political goals for a vast swath of the voting public, both male and female. And maybe it won't be too long before someone's little niece in the future innocently asks her mother whether men are allowed to be president too. Look at that! Hillary, please! For the love of God! I've been saying for 4 years. Just, introduce the reality of the Democratic Party to everybody so I can tell everyone I told you so. Please! Nobody will work harder to champion Hillary Clinton than me. She's a fantastic human being, and it's the centennial of the 19th Amendment, and she could become president, but she won't because President Trump will defeat her again. But there is I'm the only person saying that Biden ain't going to be nominee. This is the biggest charade of all time. It's happening. Oh my God, it's happening. I know it sounds like, oh my God, A-Trace lost his mind. Oh my God, he's lost his mind. He's lost his mind. He's seeing visions of, is the Clinton nomination in the room with us now? Oh my God, he's lost his mind. Why is this article... Why, like, in the tweet... Okay, there's the New York Times just tweeted out, I still remember in 2001 when Hillary Clinton was sworn in the Senate, my young niece innocently asked if men were allowed to be in the Senate too. Okay, it's this mentality that's going to have a nice... it's going to be really interesting when President Trump wins again. And all of the overt lies how he worked with Russia and he withheld military. This is a bunch of biggest nonsense of all time. It's the biggest nonsense of all time. Then they say, Trump claims without evidence. Well, that's all they've done is claim without evidence. That's all they've done is claim things without evidence. That's all they've done. Claim things without evidence. And then when Trump engages in like the anti-hyperbole, my God, the post-truth moment. Jimbo, it's the prophecy. This is going to be like, they're making it difficult for me, Jimbo. Jimbo, Webby, to my Australian crew, they're making it difficult. I'm telling you, they're making it difficult. And you better believe that any dissension on the left is going to be crushed. It's going to be obliterated within a day or two or maximum 1 week. And I'll be there to help them too. I'm like, you say one thing wrong? You don't support Madam Secretary? After I, went out on a limb in 2016, said, yeah, I'm not doing this. This is nonsense. And then the Daily Beast is like, oh my God. Writing the hit piece, unethical, inaccurate hit piece on me, just because I was a Bernie Sanders supporter. The article was literally about, he won't talk to the Daily Beast. I'm like, yo, what? They wrote an article. The headline was like something like, oh yeah, he won't talk to this publication that's literally the journalist or whatever, the writer, literally wrote it just to disparage me because I was explaining that Clinton couldn't win and she didn't win. See, there was no Russian interference, but there definitely was interference from Democrats. It didn't work out. It is the prophecy. It is the prophecy. That's right. Scott Trowick. Scott, keep it up. Thank you. Thank you as always, Scott. Thank you for watching. Be here November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. I mean, really, Scott and everybody here, it's really November 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Like, I don't see, Scott and everybody here, thank you so much. I don't see this groundswell of support. Hey, you voting for Biden? Did you hear Biden today? Who is, I want to know who is saying this. Did you hear the latest Biden news? Yeah, he's running for Senate. No, really? He said he wants the cure to be worse than the problem. No, he said he made some comment about if you don't vote for him, then you ain't who you are. Yeah. Oh my God, he's amazing. Is anyone speaking that way? He's doing worse among Latino and black voters. You cannot win without African American and Hispanic voters in the Democratic Party. He's doing worse than Clinton. Here, I'm telling you, look, voters. Do you understand voters for the DNC? Okay, I understand that they're not, not the sharpest tools in the shed, and they're not like going to listen to this live stream ever. But you should think who do you? And I'm actually hurting myself because I'm a Trump supporter. With Biden, it would be like it would be the most glorious defeat of all time. But for Democrats, but if you really want to win, you're going to go with somebody who is inspiring to exhumed bodies and cadavers that get plastic surgery like the former vice president? Or are you going to go with the first female president in the centennial of the 19th Amendment? Of course they're going to go with Clinton. Of course they're going to go with Hillary Clinton. Scott Trowick, thank you. I mean, every day now, it's not. They haven't done enough. They haven't been annoying enough. See, they're so annoying that I have to be even more annoying than I usually am. But it's happening slowly but surely. Only I can see. I sound like I've lost my mind, but only I can see what's really happening. I know. I sound like I lost my mind. Only I can see what's really happening, people. Only I can see. It's in a bit. 100 years of voting hasn't done what we thought it would. Translation, hasn't elected Hillary yet. Don't worry, we could try again. We can try again in 3 months, and then we'll try in 4 years, another 4 years, and every 4 years. Why do you think this is totally happening? My God. I got to pat myself on the back. Good job, H.A. Badman. That was a tremendous call. Now we just have to wait for the next 18 days for the annoyance to keep going. I still remember when Madam Secretary was sworn in and my niece innocently asked, "Are men allowed in the government?" "No, honey. It's only people who raise $10 billion for Haiti and give 3%. It's only people who use servers and store top-secret intelligence outside the United States government." Thanks, Mommy. Oh, my God. So when Clinton becomes nominee, because she could defeat Trump, if President Trump falls for any traps, I'm telling you, he can be defeated. And when it goes down, and when Biden gets in a horrible stampede of wild elephants, who cares how? And, that's really strange. Why would he swim across that river in the Amazon? The piranha? I mean, really? I guess we need Rodham. There's that new Hulu documentary. There's 10 Hulu documentaries. Rodham 1, Rodham 2, Rodham Part 2. The Revenge of Rodham. The Return of Rodham. Rodham 4. This time it's serious. The Golden Moo. Exactly. The Golden Moo. Nacho's live stream. Hello. Scott Trowick. Thank you. Oh my God. It's just we're just waiting. Oh my God, this was amazing. And then somebody wrote, and she wasn't even from New York and didn't deserve to be senator. And then somebody else wrote 51 followers and then a picture of the Russian flag. Do you understand? They truly believe that Russia interfered because they were afraid of Clinton, who used servers outside of the United States government, because Russia is so... See, foreign adversaries are petrified of politicians and government officials who use servers that are unencrypted outside of the United States government. This is a very scary, scary thing for them. And who are silent when money flows into their foundation from Uranium One. So... It's interesting, too, like this concept on the left. You can't flip your political identity. Why? If you are stuck within a paradigm and you realize the ideology is based on nonsense and media manipulation and peer pressure and unrealistic, unattainable goals, and this obsession with being morally superior and always falling short, then why wouldn't you flip your political identity? Or you could keep what's important to you, like bringing home Americans from endless counterinsurgency conflicts, bring them home to their families instead of leaving them in these quagmires forever that Bush got us into and President Obama continued and Clinton would have, that President Trump is reversing U.S. foreign policy. It's pretty unbelievable how the peer pressure is just so, like, President Trump, one of the reasons he'll win, he doesn't have, there is no peer pressure. Nobody pressures you to vote for President Trump. You actually have to like want something he stands for, like reversing U.S. foreign policy or record low unemployment or prison reform legislation, or the fact that he gave more money to historically black colleges and universities than President Obama did, or the fact that he's the only president to sign an executive order combating anti-Semitism on college campuses, which is running rampant. I mean, nobody knows, or signed an executive order lowering prescription drug prices. I mean, what is wrong with any of this? Nothing. Okay, there aren't people at the Associated Press or Reuters or CNN or MSNBC or the Washington Post or the New York Times or ABC or NBC or CBS or any of your favorite YouTube pundits on the left that are walking into lunch or, walking into their building or their office with a Make America Great Again hat. They're all on the Democratic Party side. All of them. And the news does not treat him, forget about in a favorable light or in a negative light. They spin it to where anything that he accomplishes, any major accomplishment, it's almost like being the first president to step foot in North Korea. Then it's almost like that never happened. That never happened. So, according to media, it's like it never happened. Old school dad, man. I think the election is already decided. Now let's see who wins. Old school dad, man. I think that I think President Trump is going to win. I really do. I really do. With universal mail-in voting, not absentee voting, which is good, 2020 will be the most inaccurate and fraudulent election in history. It'll be a great embarrassment to the USA. Delay the election until people can properly secure and safely vote. Then you have the people who are like, They're trying to say that notice how they reacted to the death of Herman Cain, Democrats, in the most disrespectful manner. It's unbelievable. Really unbelievable. They're going to lose again. See, they also don't get, now you have, everybody from Pelosi to just the biggest imbeciles on the planet, on the left. They're like, oh, yeah, only Congress can delay the election. It's like, yeah, Trump wasn't really serious, you buffoons. My God. When they lose, it's going to be so amazing. Old school dad, man. If Harris is VP and Hillary tops ticket, then is it a closer election? Much closer. Yeah. A lot closer. A lot closer. This is an election of two opposites. Biden is opposite of Trump, but like not enough. Well, Biden, he basically, you're talking about somebody who doesn't know where he is half the time, but silver sword. It is a closer election. Silver sword, much closer, but she'll still lose. Donald J. Trump, Donnie, my man. Leftist, not liberal, on comfort is increasing by... Oh, yes. November will be great, but watching leftists and fake Republicans squirm is energizing. Keep the pressure on. Donald J. Trump, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, thank you so very much. And, it's going to be amazing. The interesting thing is, once they pull the curtain away... and we see, it's been Madam Secretary the whole time. Wow. Once they pull the curtain away, we can actually, we get their heavyweight champion, our heavyweight champion. We get the AFC and the NFC champions. We have the Eastern and Western Conference finals, champion of the Eastern and Western Conferences. We then have exactly what we then have, the real deal, what's really going on. Silver sword, thank you. Donald J. Trump, thank you. This is not happening. Obviously not happening. This primary has been the absolute biggest charade of all time. It's pretty bit, Just the other day, somebody wrote, I'm never going to forget that so many people couldn't live with the Hillary Clinton presidency. They doomed us to perish with the Trump one. Okay, yes. I am telling you. DNC, delegates who are not legally bound to do anything but vote for Madam Secretary. Do your job. I am not even, I'm a Trump supporter. I want President Trump to win. I do not want Democrats to win. But I'm telling you, they will get a lot closer. And they could possibly win with Madam Secretary Hillary Clinton. They have no chance with Biden. The question is, will they be inviting Tara Reade to the centennial of the 19th Amendment if they were so incompetent and inept enough to nominate Biden because their process is so, they have such reverence for their process, they cheated Bernie Sanders. This is something that everyone should say in the morning. Wake up in the morning that they cheated Bernie Sanders. Oh, hi, honey. How are you? Good morning. They cheated Bernie Sanders. Brush your teeth in the morning. They cheated Bernie Sanders. I love this. Everything is going according to plan. Everything is going according to plan. Everything's going according to plan. So, I love this. So you have this, they will have done a real number on the country when Madam Secretary becomes nominee, and they then they then do an about face, and they're like, absentee ballots are the exact same thing as mail-in ballots. No, they're not. You have to register for an absentee ballot. The way the mail-in ballots are being conducted, or they want to be, everyone just gets it. So there's no way to find out where, like, an absentee ballot, the way they had, let's just see, we'll read this right here. You don't have to register if everything's mail. You have to register for an absentee ballot, and absentee ballots are not going to, usually they don't just, like voting, election officials are not overwhelmed with tens of thousands of absentee ballots on one night or one evening. So here you have ballot harvesting. That's a big, what is ballot harvesting, and how is it affecting Southern California elections? So here you have, let's see. This is a great article here. Oh my Lord, are you serious? Give me a break. Nobody knows how often. Are you serious? Okay, great. Oh, why did this happen? Okay, you know what? Here, I have this. They keep saying, it's the same thing, it's the same thing. And the difference is that one is not, the absentee ballots are not collected in the same manner. Here you have South Philly judge of elections admits he took bribes to stuff the ballot box for Democratic candidates, but that wasn't absentee ballots. Here you have cause for concern. There's one great part here that, of course, is taking me a million years to find out. I swear to God, it's like impossible here. Okay, so what is ballot harvesting? How is it affecting Southern California? This is Orange County Register, May 17, 2020. Some version of the same process where someone can collect absentee ballots from voters and then drop them off in a mailbox or polling place. But California's ballot collection rules are among the most permissive in the nation, with no restrictions on who can gather ballots or how many they can pick up. That is important. That is important. You want to know who is picking up, like, if you don't have to be an election official to pick up ballots, then how on earth is that election integrity? What if there were Russian operatives? We'll speak the Democratic Party's language. What if there was Russian operatives? Oh my God. So, that's one major issue. Even in terms of the process, Republicans uniformly call it ballot harvesting, implying that election results are planted and plucked from a field of voters. Democrats and voting rights advocates prefer the term ballot collection, insisting it's a service for voters at risk of being shut out of the electoral process. How is it a service of voters at risk of being shut out of the electoral process? How? When is this? Was it a problem when President Obama won 2 terms or Bill Clinton? It's only a problem when Democrats don't win. Nobody knows how often it happens or how many votes are collected in this manner. Then they say, well, we haven't seen any evidence of fraud. It's like, that's not the point. The point is that you just had a South Philly judge convicted of stuffing ballot boxes. Then you have absentee versus mail-in ballots. Is there a difference? Someone has to be approved to vote in an absentee ballot. And there's less of a chance of fraud. An absentee ballot is used to cast an absentee vote, which is submitted usually by mail by an absentee. Absentee here refers to a person who can't physically be present at the voting center on election day. So if you can't physically be present, you can apply for an absentee ballot. What is the problem here? To get an absentee ballot, a registered voter must request one through their state government, which accepts or rejects the application. So if Democrats say, well, I want an absentee ballot because of the pandemic, then they can apply for one. What is the problem? Because they didn't care. They didn't ask for absentee ballots when they were voting in person in Florida, Arizona, and Illinois during the pandemic. Exact rules may vary, but qualifying reasons may include being out of the country, being a student living outside of the country, having an illness or disability, working or being on jury duty, serving as an election worker or poll watcher, having religious beliefs or practices that prevent them from going voting center. Okay, so, oh Lord, Biden pops up. Don't want to hear you, Biden. Hello, everyone. I'm gonna be the nominee soon. Yeah, right. Okay. So what is a mail-in ballot? 5 states, Washington, Oregon, Colorado, Utah, and Hawaii, already conduct their elections through a mail-in process that's often referred to as mail-in voting. Okay, well, at least if they've been conducting it that way, they're used to it. A lot of states are not going to be used to it. Ask the election officials in Broward County. Registered voters in these states automatically receive a mail ballot, which is sent to their address before Election Day and mailed back by the voter, deposited at a voting location or secure drop box by a certain time on Election Day. This is the problem. A mail-in ballot can be dropped off at a location on Election Day. So that's the difference. An absentee ballot is you have to register and say, I can't be there physically. But what on earth is the point of, I guess you could say, well, I don't want to wait in line, but still, the chances of a South Philly judge that was just convicted, this type of political operative, so all absentee ballots are sent through the mail, but not all ballots sent through the mail are absentee ballots. Voting fraud is extremely rare in the U.S. So what? So, you know, in the past 20 years, over 250 million votes have been cast. And according to data from the Heritage Foundation, there have been only 1,285 proven cases in 20 years of voter fraud, resulting in 1,100 convictions. How is this? How on earth is that? Like, How does that alleviate anyone's concern? I would love to see the breakdown of Democrat, Republican. And by the way, it's interesting too. Clinton was actually doing better in absentee ballots in 2016. Still lost the election. So this is going to be the biggest political. There's obviously greater opportunity to cheat if you don't have any, if the FEC does not have a uniform code or protocol or standard as to how these ballots are collected, then you have a big problem. Because if there's a state that allows just anyone to collect the ballots, like a Democratic operative, that's a problem. Well, it hasn't happened before. Yeah, but it could happen, because we know that there was a South Philly judge just convicted of stuffing ballots for Democrats a couple weeks back, and then we know that Bernie was cheated 4 years ago. And Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign. And we know that they cheated Bernie Sanders in Iowa with an app that coincidentally was linked, a phone app that coincidentally, or an app on a computer that coincidentally was linked to Clinton 2016. So this is the difference between me and people on the left. J Spot J, I believe you have to be a citizen and you have to be registered. This is the difference between me and somebody on the left. I want Clinton to run every 4 years. I think that's fantastic. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think that's like some kind of really bad, horrible thing. I think it's hilarious and awesome. I think it's fantastic. They can't stand Trump. Clinton actually did. You're talking about somebody who did commit numerous crimes. Numerous. You cannot use a server outside servers and say that it's convenience and say you didn't send anything marked classified, and then, of course, everything you said was wrong. Then they say, a post-truth moment. Oh, my God. Let's see here. This is interesting. So I'm trying to look at. There is no way, ladies and gentlemen. There's just no way. And I'm even annoying myself. So look what they've done. Look what they've done to us. There is no way that once he decides on a vice president, then the party can start. I also don't think, ladies and gentlemen, that, and I keep saying this, I also don't think they have a plan for when they lose. I really don't. I don't think they have a plan for when they lose. I don't think they have a plan for when they lose. I don't think they have a plan for when they lose, and I don't think they have, I don't think that they're ready for what the Democratic, what left-leaning people will do to themselves, what left-leaning people will do to the Democratic Party. So, because, like, their legitimacy, their credibility is predicated upon Trump being a one-term president. Everything that they've said, everything they've shouted at the top of their lungs, Angela Goodwin! The election in 1947 in Hungary was a surprise. The majority vote went to the Communist Party, but few recalled to vote for them. Same with Pericles 5,000 years ago. Athenians were really surprised. There you go. Angela Goodwin. Angela Goodwin, thank you. Look, Angela, thank you so very much. Angela Goodwin, I have so many wonderful people on this channel, but I have to say Angela has such a profound knowledge of history, and you're awesome. Angela Goodwin, thank you so very much. You are awesome. Thank you, Angela, and thank you as always for watching and for your support. It's I just can't wait till November 4th. That's all I can say. Angela, what do you think the left is going to do when they lose again? I have some ideas. I mean, they can start investigations again. Try to get another special counsel, because don't put that beyond them. Don't put it beyond them. They're not going to get it. Well, the House might call for a resolution for a special counsel. Angela, thank you as always, Sparky! Remember, voter fraud, election fraud, two different things. The establishment will get you with semantics. Election fraud, it's like Broward County. Gotcha. That's true. Voter fraud and election fraud are actually, I agree with you. Thank you, Sparky. I just, it's so interesting how, like, they're just, when they claim, well, there's no widespread, who cares why is that important? Why is that an issue? Like, they only want the popular vote because they think they're always going to get the popular vote. If Republicans got the popular vote, they would say, no, we need the Electoral College. They don't care. They don't run on principle. Okay, the Steele dossier is okay with them, compiled with Russian sources, literally working with Russia. But Facebook adds that Trump has nothing to do with, oh my God. Joshua Brenner, thank you, Joshua. Thank you. Thank you, Joshua. So I just, it's really interesting too, because I was expecting at this time, as a content creator on YouTube, I'm thinking, you know what? It's going to heat up, baby. It's going to heat up. Yeah. Late July. And, it's heating up. The live streams in the evening are doing fantastic. I have like a fantastic time. I mean, every evening I'll do a live stream about 8 to 9:30. I'll start it and it'll go for 2 hours. I'm doing the 2-hour live stream, but I'll do 2-hour live streams like in the morning and the afternoon. I'll do uploads when Clinton becomes nominee, because she will become nominee. They haven't broken me and they'll never break me. I'll always know exactly what they're about, and I'm telling you, if it's November 2nd, and Clinton is not on the ballot, I will still be telling you. I'm telling you tomorrow morning. They are going to, it's going to be a miracle, Magic Inc. I don't know what's going to happen, but the Biden is going to be Clinton. I'm telling you. So, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm expecting at that nomination some really nice, amazing things to take place. The only chance they have is with Clinton. So, that's really the only chance they have. But, it is interesting, like, I really don't think they've thought ahead for 3 months, because they have to have, like, a soft landing plan, some kind of soft landing, some kind of, oh my God, we found this, Trump is, and then somebody comes out of the woodwork, oh my goodness. Angela Goodwin, today Dems are not left. They went 3D because they are bottom feeders. They're definitely not left-leaning the way that, Angela, you're right. They're definitely not left-leaning in the manner that you would think that the left, would not have the foreign policy. You would think that the left would not have the foreign policy that they do. But they did a number on people throughout this election. They did such a good number on Democratic voters. They did such a good number on Democratic voters that even when Bernie Sanders was cheated in broad daylight in Iowa, they were too petrified to ever really take issue with it. They're just too petrified. And a big reason why he lost in South Carolina is because he was seen as unelectable because he didn't win the first 3 contests. He lost last second. So, or did he lose? I don't know. I guess you'll have to trust that app with ties to former Clinton campaign officials. So, let's see here. People are saying they're voting for Hillary Clinton. This is interesting. This is interesting. So I'm looking at this. This is. Oh my goodness. So let's see here. I guess in a couple of days they're going to pick. Biden's going to finally pick his or Clinton's vice president, Natalie, Square Foot Gardener, Natalie. Thank you for always watching, Natalie. Jimbo, pantsuits and Jimbo. No, Belvedere. That's her vodka of choice. No, Russian Standard. Jimbo, Natalie, Square Foot Gardener. Looking forward to celebrating with everyone in November. Keep your head up. Exactly. Natalie, Square Foot Gardener, thank you. Thank you very, very much. Angela, Jimbo, Natalie, Square Foot Gardener, thank you. Natalie Squarefoot Gardner, it's going to be amazing. All I can tell you is it's going to be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Natalie Squarefoot Gardner, thank you so very much. If he picks Kamala Harris, which I think that he might, I mean, I don't know. I think he might pick Hillary Clinton. Who knows? I have no clue. But it would seem that it's kind of like a ploy to be like, oh, you know, is he going to pick Kamala Harris? But see, I don't understand. California is going to go Democrat anyway. So I don't, and Kamala Harris doesn't have tremendous appeal within, or tremendous support within key voting groups of the Democratic Party. So I don't understand. They would be better off with Val Demings in Florida, even though she was a police chief, with that, and her police station had a history of violent or excessive force. That would be very interesting to see Democrats say, "Well, it's okay," you know. Same with Tara Reid and the Steele dossier. You know, they just twist themselves into hilarious mental pretzels. The mental gymnastics is unbelievable. Oh, let's see here. Natalie Squarefoot Gardner, thank you. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you very, very much. I think, I imagine, I would imagine that that something enormous is going to take place within the next couple of weeks that solidifies Madam Secretary's divine, loving embrace of the Democratic Party. Some might say diabolical clutch, but ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. I think we'll go about an hour and a half this evening. But thank you so very much, people. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. I have a great segment on there. It's happening, people, slowly. I mean, like in slow motion it's taking place, but it's happening. To my super chat, thank you. Thank you so very much, everyone. And ladies and gentlemen, I will see you. I'll see you tomorrow. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. I will see you tomorrow, people. And have a great, great evening. To my super chat, thank you. If you want to support my voice long term, my Patreon is below. Thank you to my super chat. And I'll see you soon, everyone. Luke St. Martin, Eric, H526. Thank you, gentlemen. See you all tomorrow. It's happening slowly but surely. I know nobody sees this, but it is happening. Give me your thoughts. Hillary Clinton is going to be